10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. We have a special guest tonight. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks now. We're really excited about it. An actor from one of our very favorite shows. In fact, I would call it our very favorite show. Would you say, Heather? Number one for us. Moses J. Moseley is going to be with us. He's actually, Moses, if you're there, you can come on whenever you're ready. So he actually played Pet Walker number one. There he is. Hey, man.
How y'all doing? Good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. Turn him up a little bit, Heather. There we go. All right, now we can hear you a lot better. So, welcome to the Gastlecast, man. You know, it's funny. We happened to come upon you looking through like Funko groups. We saw you in there. You were talking about doing autographs and stuff. So, what prompted you to do that?
Actually, a fan that contacted me. She randomly used to go to a lot of conventions, and ever since the COVID stuff, like conventions have pretty much stopped altogether.
Sure.
Yeah. And after I signed a couple of things for her, she suggested that I start putting it in groups, and I had never even thought of that idea. And I was like, okay, that sounds like a pretty good idea. So after that, I just started going to different groups and just letting everybody know that I'm available and I'm willing to sign stuff through mail if that's what they want. And ever since then, man, it's like for the past couple of weeks, my inbox has been insane. Like
that's awesome.
A lot of people, yeah, thank you, man. Because a lot of people they still want their stuff signed. It's just with conventions and signing's not happening so much right now. It's kind of hard too. So I wanted to provide a way to still get people to get their stuff signed if that's what they wanted.
Absolutely. Did you go to cons prior to COVID? Were you at the cons doing signings and stuff?
I did, yeah. I actually had about 10 I was supposed to do this year, but they all got canceled and postponed because of the COVID thing. But yeah, I've been doing them pretty consistently for about 4 or 5 years now, and it's been incredible. Like I love meeting people and I love going to them. Like they're so much fun.
Yeah, we Heather and I actually went to a Walker Stalker years ago. I've only heard now bad things about Walker Stalker, but yeah. We went, I don't know, how long ago was it? 2017?
2017.
And I actually asked her to marry me in front of Jeffrey Dean Morgan, believe it or not.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Wow.
Yeah, so our story's pretty deep when it comes to Walking Dead. It's a very big deal to us. So I kind of want to understand, how are you doing the whole autograph thing? And I'm asking this not only for me, but for the audience and for the folks who come and watch this later on. What is the best way, one, to get in contact with you? And how does the process work when it comes to you doing the autographs? Is it like a shipping to you kind of a thing?
It is. If you have a particular item or a pop figure that you want signed, you send it to me. I give you a mailing address to send it to. And you can send it to me, and I'll sign it, and I'll send it right back. And if you happen to want like one of my my comic books or one of my my prints, I can you just give me a mailing address, and I give you the price, and then I'll just send it out to you, whichever one you prefer.
Excellent. That's great. So you're giving the opportunity for people to have the autograph experience during COVID. And I think that's really awesome, because right now I think we need that more than ever, because the con experience for a lot of people takes up most of their life during a regular year. So you're giving them something that they necessarily couldn't get otherwise. This is great, man.
Thank you. And I also I take pictures with the items they send, so to authenticate it, and I'll even do videos. I posted some videos on my page just showing that I'm signing the stuff, and so they can show authenticators if it's necessary as well. So just whatever anybody wants, I can do that for them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So
wow.
when they reach out to you, if be it Facebook, is there an email address maybe you can give out?
My email is bookingmosesmosley@gmail.com, or you can just look me up on Facebook and send me a message, and I'll reply. either way is fine with me.
Excellent. That's great, man. Well, it gives so for the folks that are watching this, that gives you a couple of different ways to get in contact, so you can get your stuff signed. What's the craziest thing somebody had you sign?
Oh wow, man. Oh god. It was a couple of years back. I had some girls send me some of their undergarments, and they wanted. Yeah, they actually sent me 2 pairs, one to sign and one to keep, and yeah, that's happened a couple of times, and it was so funny. And I actually had a lady want me to sign her baby's foot. But it was like, the sock that she had on the baby. So it wasn't the actual foot. It was just a sock. And yeah, man. And I had another guy ask me to sign his forehead for him. And I've had a couple of people, they've actually gotten, me and Shea West, the other pet walker, they've actually gotten our characters tattooed on them. So some of them have asked us to sign the tattoo, and then they go and get a tattoo over the signature. So it's been pretty awesome, man. It's been cool.
That's amazing. So I would assume that The Walking Dead is probably the highlight of your acting career.
Oh man, it's hard to say now. Like, because I actually got The Walking Dead. It was actually the 3rd thing I ever did career wise, and it was the thing that actually really got me noticed. So it's definitely one of those things that I feel like it started everything for me. But to date now, I've worked on, I've had co-starring roles in the show Queen of the South, in the show Watchmen. I've done a couple of lead parts in a couple of indie movies, so it's kind of hard to choose. But Walking Dead will always have a special place in my heart, though, because I feel like it started everything for me, not just like career-wise, but I learned so much from filming with them and being on set with everybody, and it was an incredible opportunity. Yeah.
That is really cool. In fact, I have more questions that kind of dive a little deeper into the Walking Dead stuff. But first, I kind of wanted to get into the acting stuff. So how is it? So I read a little bit about you being a model. It sounds like you were a model first, and then you're an actor second. Is that true?
That's right. Yeah. I actually started modeling. I was doing print work and stuff for H&M, for American Eagle, Levi. And after I did a couple of shoots with a couple of people, I started meeting more people, and they were giving me cards and stuff saying to apply to these different agencies and go to these different casting calls. And one day I was just like, hey, why not? And I actually got my first opportunity. I was walking out of class at Georgia State. And a girl, she was pulling people to the side now. She actually pulled me to the side and asked me if I wanted to be in a movie. And
wow.
At first I was like, kind of movie, like, what are you talking about? I'm thinking in somebody's basement or something,
Sure.
Something crazy. Yeah, and it ended up being a movie, Joyful Noise, with Queen Latifah and Dolly Parton.
Wow.
And yeah, man. They needed some people for a club scene. So I was out of class. I was like, hey, why not? And I went and did it, and I shot with them for like 2-3 days. And after that, I was hooked, man. Then after that, I met some of the people doing casting, and they started sending me more emails and stuff about other stuff to submit to online. And about I think like a year later, that's when The Walking Dead came along, and wow. I ended up self-submitting to them as well. And they called me back around like 4 a.m. That night, or that early morning. And they offered me the part of playing the pet walker, and I was like in a daze actually when they called me, because I was like half asleep. And when I woke up, man, I didn't even think it was real. Like I thought I dreamed it. So yeah, and when I checked my email and everything, and it was an email confirmation telling me where to go and what to do and stuff, and who to talk to when I got to set and stuff. And it was after that, it just took off, man. It was incredible.
That's remarkable. So it really does come down to who you know.
It is. Like talent, of course, helps, and work ethic is probably the most important thing, but definitely who you know, because it's like you never know what opportunity you can get from meeting the right person, and who knows who, so sure. I say always be kind to everybody, always treat everybody with the same level of generosity and care and concern, and it is going to pay off,
Absolutely.
But you just got to stay humble.
Sure. No, that's great. It's funny. I didn't want to drag this out too much, but I read something interesting. It meant there was I think it was on your IMDb. It mentioned that at one point you were 300 pounds and you lost a bunch of weight.
Yes, man. It was like all my life I was pretty much overweight, and it wasn't until like I lost the weight that I started wanting to get into modeling, because after I lost the weight, people like I have random people like. I was working in retail, and I'd have like random customers, coming up to me and saying, you look pretty good. And it's like, okay, thank you. And I wasn't used to that, because I still had the mentality of, overweight person.
Sure.
So like Yeah, so like when they would give me cards and stuff and say, you should look into this and look into that, and I didn't take any of them seriously, man. But like one day, I feel like God just knocked on my head and he said, "Dude, just call one of them, just call one of them and see what's gonna happen." And I just started calling, and pretty soon it just led into modeling, man, and it just took off from there. But yeah, like I was 300 pounds, and it took me about 2.5 years to lose it because I lost it the natural way, and I just had to change my eating habits and integrate a workout regimen into it, and I just I implemented that into my day-to-day life, and it just came off, man. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was the most rewarding too. So
that's awesome.
I'm blessed, man. Thank you.
Good for you, man. That's awesome. And doing it all on your own is also a huge feat, because a lot of people have a very hard time doing that.
Dude, it's one of the hardest things you can do alone. I feel like you said. And it's one of those things where you learn about yourself, and you learn discipline from it. You get really disciplined from it, and you can and it shows you, like, if you can do this, you can do anything, man. It's a mindset. It's 90% mental and 10% physical. Yeah.
Is this a battle for you now, like today? Like, in other words, getting back into the whole eating thing? I mean, is that something that's always in the back of your head?
Now, no, man. Like I'm so used to like working out now, and I have such a regimen with it now. Is that now my body tells me go work out. It's like if I won't feel right now if I don't go work out. Because I work out maybe like 5-6 days out of the week, sometimes 7.
Wow.
And it's like my body is literally adjusted and acclimated to it, even my mind, because it's so used to it now. It's like a repetitive thing that I trained my mind to do. And once I got used to it, it became part of my daily regimen. So now it's like it's part of my life now. It's like I enjoy it so much now that I can't not do it and still feel good. So
sure.
it's like that for me.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that's cool. I had that at one point in time. It bit me like a bug, I guess. But I got older, and now I'm almost 40 years old, and I'm like, I think I need to get back to the gym. You know what I mean? I think now it's time. Okay, so knowing that you got into The Walking Dead, and that was like kind of a huge career change for you, were you a big horror fan going into that show? Were you into a lot of the zombie films and things prior?
I'm always will and always have been a huge horror fan, man. Like I grew up on Candyman.
Awesome.
That's my favorite.
Yes. Michael Myers. Like, man, I've always loved horror. But like I didn't know anything about The Walking Dead when I filmed with them, though. I knew nothing about it. So like after I got done filming, I had to go back and watch the other 2 seasons to understand exactly, who I was and what the show was about. And after that, I got hooked on it, man. Like I loved it. Yeah.
Sure. So I'm assuming that you were not one of the walkers at the end of season 2. Were you brought on at season 3?
Yeah, I was brought on at season 3. Yeah, around the time Denai was casted. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I remember there's that final scene in season 2 where it's Michonne and the 2 pets with her. And that's like the final thing that you see. So you were cast. You were cast when she was cast. So that's interesting. So you both were like sort of new part of the family.
Yeah. It was exciting. Like, and meeting her, man, she's so incredible. Like, she's one of the nicest, most talented, humble actresses and women I've ever met, man. She's so awesome. Yeah.
It's interesting because that actually comes across just seeing her when she's being interviewed and things. Some people you hear that they're really big a-holes, right? But with her, it's almost, you can see her being interviewed. You can tell that she is down to earth and a really cool person.
Definitely. She is. Yeah. She's so like natural with everything. And she's like you said, she's so down to earth. Like it was a breath of fresh air. Yeah. Definitely.
That's awesome. So with The Walking Dead, so you talked a little bit about how you landed the role, but did you know what character you were going to be going in? Were they wanting you to play any other characters, or was that was the one?
For me, that was the one, because like I said, like I didn't have an agent or anything at the time, so I self-submitted my small resume at the time and my headshot, and I was just hoping to get anything I could. And that just happened to be the thing that opened up, and that's what they had. That's what they offered me, man. And it was one of those things where I didn't know how big it was gonna be until it got big. Like I would have like people like on set telling me like, do you know who you were? Like you were important. I'm like, okay, I don't know what the show is, but thank you. It's like, because I didn't know. but then later on it evolved into this big thing, and I was just blown away and just really humbled by it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I would consider you as one of the iconic characters from the show. I mean, the whole silhouette or the image of like sitting right here in the Funko Pop forum of Michonne with the two walkers. I mean, that to me is The Walking Dead. I mean, of course, Rick was always like sort of like the guy, but after Michonne shows up, that's when things start to get really, really crazy. And it's like, wow, this show is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And I remember that moment. I remember seeing Michonne in season 3 and just being blown away about how awesome she was. So it turns out that you end up in my favorite season of the show.
Awesome. Thanks.
And what's interesting about that is we're huge Negan fans, but Heather and I kind of want to, I'm kind of rolling into this topic about Sonoy, Georgia. I'm assuming you spent a lot of time there.
Yes. Sonoy, Georgia. Yeah, man. Like it's like a small town, but like filming like The Walking Dead made it huge. I feel like because like there's a Woodbury shop there now. There's so many tours and stuff you can go to now. It's like a whole like Walking Dead experience there, man. Yeah.
So well, the funny part about that is that Heather and I we got married. What was it? 2019.
May of last year.
This year in February, we actually went on a trip down south, and on our way back, we stopped in Sonoy. We did the Woodbury. We did the everything. We did it all. We nice. Saw the walls for Alexandria, for the new seasons. Really cool experience for people who love the show and watch the show and actually walking and stepping foot in places that, actors were, standing.
Yeah, we were where you were at some point.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really wild. But what was it like for you? Your first day on the set, and here you are, and it's probably hot as hell in Sonoy, Georgia. How was that for you?
For me, it was kind of nerve-wracking because, for one, with all the makeup and stuff on, it took some getting used to because it took like 2.5 hours for them to put makeup on us every day. So that was one thing I had to get used to. And just like getting used to, all the heat and stuff and all the makeup being on you and still being able to take direction and walk this way and, like still act, brain dead, basically,
Sure.
And it was like, it was like so much stuff going on. And at the same time, I was learning, because I didn't know that much about filming back then. And I was just like, I was really learning, man, like so much about like how scenes and stuff are split up, like how special effects goes into it and like cutting back and forth between scenes. Cause like, even though I was having so much fun and enjoying the opportunity, my mindset was still thinking like, okay, I want to go up as an actor. So
Sure.
What else can I learn from this experience? So it was like kind of like a dual thing for me. Like I was learning and having fun at the same time, but it was incredible. Like it was so incredible.
It sounds like The Walking Dead is a great place for people to learn, and because a lot of actors have shown up on The Walking Dead, and at first they were not really very well known, and now they're humongous. So, did you spend a lot of time around the other actors, or so? My question actually, let me roll this back a little bit. In the Planet of the Apes film. Apparently, they mention in some of the documentaries I've watched about it that the characters, the ape characters, the actors would actually sit apart from the other human characters, right? So they would almost like completely separate. Was that how it was for you on set? Was it like zombies over here and the hero characters over here?
For me, I was always around the actors and stuff because of who I played. But like for some of the other zombies, like they were kind of off too, but it just depends on what you had to do for that day and who you were going to be around and who you were interacting with. It just really depends on like exactly what your role is. But yeah, like it does happen like that sometimes. Yeah.
So there was another actor who, alongside you who played, I guess that would be pet number 2.
Well, we kind of interchange back and forth because like on some action figures, I'm pet 1 and some action figures he pet 1 because you can always tell the difference because I'm the lighter and shorter one. And sometimes they mix it up. Like on the Funkos, I'm 1, but like on the McFarlane, he's 1. So it's funny thing. Like, but we usually just go by like I'm Pet Mike and he's Pet Terry. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So with the pet stuff, I go back into the special effects part of it. The as the Funko Pop shows here, like the jaw is missing. It's all the face is pretty tore up, and then the arms. What are you doing with your arms when you're in the show?
Well, the whole time, like they had green screen and blue screen sleeves on us. So like where our hands were like always out, and like we were like contorting our bodies, but still trying not to move our hands, because like with CGI, every time you move, it costs more to remove your to remove that object from from the screen if you're moving them. So it's like we kind of had to keep our arms stiff while still contorting our body. So like it was kind of a workout, man.
Wow.
But yeah, like always out in front or even like behind us. But the main thing was it was just like to make them still, so it wouldn't cost that much to to take them out with CGI.
Sure. Yeah.
That's
oh man.
wild.
I bet you were burning up that whole time too, because I'm sure it gets hot there when you're filming.
In between takes, yeah, man. But like every time, like we would, every time director would say cut and we could go off, they keep fans and stuff on us to keep us cool and stop us from melting. So it was pretty cool, yeah. It wasn't too bad, but it got really kind of rough though, yeah.
So 3 hours or two? What did you say? 2 hours or 3 hours to get ready?
2.5, yeah.
I mean, that can't be fun at all. My God, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, waking up every day at 4 a.m. and just sitting still in the makeup chair, man, it took some getting used to, yeah. But it was. I really learned meditation then and how to be zen. So like it was beneficial, but yeah.
So how long were you filming for say season 3? Was this like a couple month long deal or weeks or what?
For me, it was about 3 weeks. About 3 weeks, yeah.
Okay, so about 3 weeks total. So one thing I noticed later on in a couple seasons later, they show Michonne's boyfriend. It appears to be a different actor. Did they reach out to you about playing that role by any chance?
Well, I knew like because of what they were going for age wise, I didn't look the age range that they wanted us to look. So they had to go for people that look, more so with that age range, because they were like, looking at us, they were like, yeah, y'all still look kind of like kids, so there's no way we can play that off. So I understand. But Aldous Hodge and the other guy Brandon, they did an awesome job. They're incredible people too. I've met them and they're really cool people. Yeah.
That's cool, yeah. Because I was going back and I was looking before we had you on and everything. I wanted to go back and look and see where you were and all that kind of jazz. And I found that scene on YouTube today, and I was like, wait a minute, that's not him. So I didn't understand that, because you get credited as in the show or on IMDb as Mike.
Yeah. Because of the character that I played, it was a zombified version of him. So they utilized that and they just carried it on from that. I just left. I went out from outside because it got kind of dark out there.
Oh,
yeah. I couldn't even see myself anymore. But yeah, because how they did it, because the character's name that I played, that's what they carried on with it. But they also gave credit to Aldous Hodge and Brandon as well. But it was just for those different scenarios of the character. Okay. It's my little brother Tyson.
Oh, I like his jacket.
It's National
Thank you.
Dog
Kobe,
Day
man.
today.
Yeah, man. Got to give homage to the Mamba, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So we got a couple of questions in the comments section, and I actually want to know these answers too.
Awesome.
So, do you still currently watch The Walking Dead?
I do, and I am a huge fan of the show still. Like, I cannot wait for this finale. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's building up so much to the point where it's like, when you think about it, it makes your brain explode. Like, I cannot wait. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That is so awesome.
I love this show, yeah.
Lady Nigma asks, who is your favorite character? And you can't say Mike.
Can't say Mike. You got me there. Okay, I'll say Michonne. Michonne is how she plays the character is so stoic and so strong, but yet still so vulnerable. Like, I love her performance with Michonne, and just knowing who she is as a person, it makes it even better. But definitely, I say Michonne. It's Michonne and Rick. I say Michonne and Rick. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great characters. I have a hard time choosing because they're all so talented and have such a good story.
Definitely.
They really did a great job at making you fall in love with the characters.
They did, yeah. And it's like how the writing is. It makes you so like attached to them, and it makes you look at yourself like, okay, would I be a Negan? Would I be a Rick? Would I be a Daryl? You know, like
Yeah.
who would I be, you know, in that kind of situation? Because it's like it's so believable, you know, something like that could happen, you know. So it's like, you know, what would I do in that situation? And I think that's one of the things that makes the show so great.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's why everyone's very different.
You
I
know,
That's
love
true.
it.
before you get to your second question, I do have a question in
okay.
between. Do you stay in touch with any of the actors or the folks that you're working with on Walking Dead?
I mainly see them at conventions, and sometimes we talk on social media and stuff.
Okay.
Because like, and if we get a chance to work together again, that's like even better. But mostly it's just typically at conventions or at or on social media, just checking in on each other and making sure, you know, everybody's staying positive and uplifted. But yeah, every now and then, yeah,
That's cool.
I love that.
they're awesome. They're so awesome. Yeah.
Michael Petrino asks, "What is your favorite season and why?"
Oh wow.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say 3 because I was in it, and because it was like, for me, it was just like it felt like a horror soap opera at that point. It was like all these different people, you're learning so many different things about them, and it was so emotional. But for action wise, I'll say season 7, because that's when, you know, Negan really starts coming in and stuff, and his entrance was just like, whoa, it was just mind blowing. You know, it's like he came in and broke down these people that were so strong and so battle hardened, and he did it like in an instant. So like, for me, it was like the action wise, I think it's probably it's a tie between season 3 and 7.
Yeah, Negan always blows my mind because he's
Yeah.
more of like a psychological sort of bad guy, because he's not like the biggest and the baddest. He's just like really messes with your head.
He does. It's like he's charismatic, and I think that's what does
Yes.
it too. Like for one moment he's like, okay, he's on your side. Next minute he's threatening to kill you. So it's like, okay, like I don't know heads or tails of this guy. So it's like, I think like how he plays it is so well. Like it's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hell of an actor.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, so when we went on our honeymoon, before we got to Sonoy, Heather and I were watching Netflix the entire way on our trip at hotels and things. So
Awesome.
that's when I started watching through season 1, 2, and 3. I wanted to kind of get myself caught up for when we got there, so we could find like the sites and stuff of where filming took place. And
Awesome.
when I got to season 3, I told Heather, I said, I have a whole new love for this season. So
Yeah.
many things happen in that season, and I really, really liked the governor. The governor was a really good villain too, and a lot of people tend to forget about him.
He was so good. Like I hated him so much towards the end. Like he was psychological too, you know, because you can tell he was dealing with a lot of stuff, and it's like initially he came off as like this nice guy. I want to help these people. Like this is all just me trying to help build back, you know, humanity. But then I think when he really snapped was after Michonne attacked him and he lost his eye, and it was like that's when you saw the real him. Like he was a sociopath, you know. He was just like all in the control and everything, and like all of his hope left when she killed his daughter that was already technically dead. And it was like after that he just became a monster, you know. So I think like he made that transition from somewhat hopeful to now is just kill if you don't do what I say, you know. So I love the way he played the character, how he played it. He played it so well.
Yeah, I love that villain, and you know, it kind of you see a lot of humanity in that show, and when you get the characters like that, it's like, you know, in real life, some people would probably get this wild in real life.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah.
What death in the show shocked you the most?
Oh man, it's so many. God, probably still Glenn. Like Glenn, how he, it's I still haven't gotten over it, you know. So it was like
I don't
when
think
it happened
anybody
to
has.
him, yeah. Oh my God, like when it happened, like because like even when he was getting his head bashed in, he was still somewhat alive, and how he was talking to Maggie and saying like, "I'll find you." I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
Like it just broke my heart, you know. So I was just. And like he was the most innocent character. He was the only one that never killed a person, you know. So I'm like, he brought hope to the group, you know. So and it was like when he died, the rest of their humanity, it kind of slowly went away too, because he was the one keeping everybody human, kind of like how Dale was at the beginning. But now it was Glenn who was doing it. But then when he died, it was just like it just went away. Yeah.
That's
but definitely, I think Glenn was the hardest.
That's a really excellent point. I never looked at it that way, actually. That's an
Yeah.
excellent point about Glenn. Yeah, you're right. The humanity did kind of go, and you can see that in now the later seasons that they've become more. I don't know what's the
Like
word.
hardened.
Yeah, like hardened. Yeah.
Pardon. Exactly. Yeah.
So the comic books. Did you read the comic books going into the show? Were you trying to get yourself ready, and other than watching the TV show?
I didn't know anything about the show or any about the comic books, but after I got into the show, I went back and I read the comic books, and that's when I got hooked on everything. Like, I think the comic books are actually a notch up over the show because you can get away more with comics,
Sure.
and like even the interaction with the governor and Michonne, it was nothing like it was in the show. Like, it was so much more intense and just it was primal, And I think that's one thing that makes a comic book stand out more. And but yeah, like I've been reading the comic books now. And it's like I love the comic books. Like I can sit back and I read them all day. Like I think they're so good. Yeah.
The books are really good. Actually, I think Heather, you got into them a little bit, right? The compendiums.
I did, but then I don't remember what happened. But I just stopped. I would say right around Negan or so. But it's not like I had a hard time reading them.
Yeah.
I just
dropped off.
I couldn't find the time or something, but I want to go back and I want to start from the beginning and continue because they're incredible. And that Michonne governor relationship, I cried.
My chip here. Say hey, little girl.
Oh,
That's my niece. Yeah, she's out.
She ran.
Precious.
Yeah.
How old
She
is
wanted to see
she?
what I'm doing. Yeah. Sorry.
Did you
okay.
end up being able to keep any props from the show by any chance?
I didn't. I wasn't able to keep anything. Like, they took everything. Like, but I wanted to keep the chains, but there was no way that I could do that. But yeah, they won't keep anything, man. Like, they pretty much take everything back. Like, even like I remember the kid to play Rick, Andrew Lincoln, he wanted to keep his gun, but they wouldn't let him, So like it's just like they take everything back. I wasn't able to keep anything though, man. Yeah, I wish
I'd been awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you can't feel so bad because Rick is like the guy, and they didn't even let him keep his gun. So
I knew there was no way. Yeah, I had to ask.
So do you have any great stories from being on set? Is there any story that kind of stands out for you?
Oh my gosh, like it's a lot, but I say like really for me the learning aspect, because I learned so much from being on set and meeting everyone, but also like funny stuff that would happen like I didn't even know because we used to have contact lenses like over our over the prosthetics. Ooh. And we were completely blind when we were filming, so we couldn't see anything like when we were walking and stuff, and like when Michonne was tugging us on the chains, she was actually showing us where to go, because we couldn't see anything.
Wow.
But like people would tell me like in between takes and stuff when I'm sitting down waiting to go back, like some of the other actors like Melissa McBride, she was taking selfies with us, and we didn't even realize taking selfies with us. So and I found out about it later on, and I was like, oh, that is so awesome. Yeah,
that is really awesome, actually.
Wow. I bet you feel like a superstar, Melissa McBride taking selfies with you.
It definitely it made my heart jump. I was like, are you serious? Like, I wish I could see that, Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So how did the conversation go when they explained to you what you're going to be in the show? I mean, they tell you that you're going to be a walker on a chain with no arms and no mouth. Did you have a bunch of question marks flying around your head or what?
It was at a point, because like I said, I was new to filming. I was like, okay, you're not going to really do this, are you? I was like, what did I sign up for? But really, it was just like I found out like how talented the makeup artists are, because like even when they were making our jaws and stuff up, they literally built our faces out with prosthetics and makeup to make it longer than what it was, and like how they did it was kind of like an optical illusion, but it was like for me it was just like observing and seeing like these people going back and forth, adding, taking away, wow. And just seeing how the process how it worked. For me, that was like the most mind-blowing thing, but just learning exactly how stuff is done, like as far as special effects, that was really I think the highlight for me, like while it was all happening.
That's the special effect makeup stuff always blows my mind. I love watching anything with the special effect makeup.
Definitely, yeah.
So how does it feel now that you're immortalized as a Funko Pop and an action figure? I mean, that has to be like the craziest feeling ever.
Dude, it's mind blowing. Like I remember the first time I even found out they made a figure of me, I was actually at a party, you know, and I was talking to this girl, and then I was and she was asking me some of the stuff I do, and I was like, yeah, I just started acting, you know, I've been doing this and I've been in that, and she asked me, she was like, so you were that guy? I was like, yeah, and then she went to her phone and pulled up, she's like, you know, you have an action figure, right? And I was like, what? Like, and I looked at it, and I was like, no way, like, what is this? And she was like, yeah, they made action figures out of you guys. I was like, I had no idea. And then that next week, that's when I started getting them in the mail to start signing and stuff. And it blew me away. Like, I had no idea they were going to do that. Yeah,
that's got to be the crazy. I can't imagine, you know, a company making toys of me. And the fact that you found out like later, you didn't even they didn't even tell you. You found out later on.
No idea, man. And it was so funny to me. Like the week before that happened, the next week I get them in the mail, and it was just like it felt like the universe was just bringing stuff together, and it was like I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna show you how cool this is in a cool way, and then you're gonna see it for yourself. It was so awesome. Yeah,
that's mind blowing.
Exactly.
We actually have a couple questions in the chat section. Some people are coming in a little later, so I apologize if they're questions you've already answered.
No problem.
One question is from Tasha Ridner, who's a huge Walking Dead fan, by the way.
The biggest.
The biggest.
It's so cool.
She asked, what do you think of Michonne leaving the show? What are your thoughts on that?
It was kind of heartbreaking because, like I said, she's my favorite character. But at the same time, you know, I understood, you know, it's like, you know, when you have other obligations and when, you know, what you want isn't necessarily what you're getting in this situation, I get it. You know, it's a business as well. And I still feel like there's a chance she could come back. I hope she can come back. And with the Rick Grimes movies that I hope they're going to do, I hope she comes back in that too. You know, because I know it's still open-ended, so I'm just hoping she comes back. But I'll definitely miss her on the show, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss her, and I'm really excited to see the new Rick Grimes film. And I know that's been on the back burner for a long time. I hope we see something about that soon.
Me too. Yeah, definitely.
Your boy Snowden, who's a good friend of our channel, asked, how did this opportunity present itself to you? I'm assuming he's referring to Walking Dead. Just, I guess maybe we've talked about this a little bit, maybe just like a little quick blurb.
Yeah, like I said, I submitted my photos to the casting people, and like I said, like about 2 weeks later, they contacted me around 4 a.m. and asked me, you know, if and they told me this opportunity was open and the role was open. They asked me if I wanted it, and you know, I said yeah, you know, sure, because I was just looking for stuff to put on my resume because I didn't know anything about the show. But after I went through all the process and everything, I was completely hooked and just happy to be there.
Sure. Yeah. Are you a fan of your own work? In other words, the stuff that you've been in, do you ever go back and watch it and enjoy it?
Besides The Walking Dead.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, my chipmunk came back.
Hi.
She's being me right now. I'm talking. Okay, I'll be right there. Okay. I'll be right there. Okay. Okay, I'll come right now. Okay. I'm sorry. As an actor, I'm probably my own worst critic. So it's like I enjoy watching my stuff, but at the same time, it's like it's hard for me to enjoy it because I'm just analyzing. It's like, okay, You could have done that better. You could have said that better. You could have done something better. And it's like sometimes I got to take my mind out of it and just enjoy it, you know. But
sure.
I love watching the stuff that I've been in because it kind of reminds me too, like, you know, where I've come from and how far I've come, and you know, just appreciative that I got the opportunities that I've gotten. But yeah, like it's so hard for me, like even just watching a movie I'm not in, it's so hard for me just to watch it and not analyze it. Even the performances now, because like I've been on the other side of it. So now I'm thinking, okay, what was he thinking to make him cry? What was she thinking to make her feel vulnerable? You know, what was happening? You know, it's like sometimes I got to dumb myself down and just enjoy the movie, you know,
sure.
Like, yeah, but
you're trying to break down all the roles.
Exactly right. Yeah.
All right. So just a couple more questions. I know your niece is tugging at your leg probably right now.
Yes,
so do you own any of the collectibles that we've talked about, like the Funko Pops and all that? Do you own those?
I do. Like I have a lot of Michonnes. I have a lot of me and Shay's pet walkers. I have a Daryl. I have a Rick. I have a couple of them, man. Like, and I get them just like from going to conventions and like collecting, because like you meet a lot of collectors there. And whenever I see something like from like a genre I like, I gotta get it. Like I even have a Michonne katana sword, man. Like I got that too. And it's like, yeah, I collect as many as I can. Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Awesome. So you actually do collect some of this stuff. That's awesome.
I do, man. Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite fandom? Is there like one fandom that you enjoy the most? Is it
Yeah. You gonna say hey now?
Hey, hi,
Say hey
how
now.
are you?
Say hey.
She's like, who are these people?
Yeah, she's
Do
awesome.
you have a favorite fandom? Anything stick out for you?
For me, it's always been Marvel and DC.
Oh,
Like that's like it's my childhood, man. So like for me, but DC wise specifically, Superman was always my favorite was always my favorite superhero. But I love the Marvel movies. Like I'm addicted to all of them. But it's definitely Marvel and DC. Yeah, yeah.
so there's a couple more questions in the chat section, so I'm going to pull those for a second. But my final question for you is, and I heard about Marvel, I heard about DC. What is your
Yeah.
dream role?
To be a superhero in a Marvel
There
movie
you
or
go.
a superhero in a DC movie. I
Hey,
recently I got I'll say one of my goals. I reached it last year because I got a chance to I got a co-starring role in the show Watchmen, and Watchmen is actually DC. So I got a chance to work on a DC show, and I was super happy and excited about that. But definitely like my goal is to be a superhero in a Marvel or a DC movie. Like that's my dream role, man.
That would be remarkable.
I'll take even a villain part. Like yeah, because villains have more fun. So,
There you
yeah.
go. That's right. Yeah, we need to start a
Yeah.
petition.
Exactly. Awesome, man. Yes.
So a couple questions about the Watchmen. These are the last two questions we'll ask because I know you got to go. And if
Love
I'm overdoing it, just tell me.
No problem.
So Watchmen question: did you know the ending, and were you shocked when you found out?
I did not know the ending, but I had a theory, and my theory was right. And just from analyzing the show and knowing who Dr. Manhattan is and how how his psyche works, I had a feeling that that's how it was going to turn out. So like when it happened, I was like, yes, I knew it because I was happy I was right. But at the same time, it was like like I didn't want it to end because it was supposed to only be little girl, really? Because it's supposed to only be one season. But I'm hoping they somehow bring it back to a second season. But yeah, like how it ended, even if there isn't another season, I'm still happy with how it ended. Like I am. Like I think it was poetic almost. So like I'm really happy with how it ended.
It was remarkable, and I hope they do come back because that's such a great show.
Definitely.
So final question, and then we're going to let you go.
Okay.
Were the experiences way different on the set of Walking Dead and The Watchmen?
It was because with Watchmen, I had a speaking role, and like it was like more preparation versus dumbing myself down like I had to do at Walking Dead and just walking and stuff and
Sure.
try not to fall on my face because I was blind. But with Watchmen, like it was incredible because they took me to my trailer and stuff, and I was sitting there waiting and preparing. Yes, ma'am. Hey, I'm coming. I'm almost done. I promise. I'm almost done. But like I was saying, yeah. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. And like I was saying with Watchmen, I had like a full monologue I had to do. So and I had to and I was reviewing constantly lines over and over again in my head while I was waiting to be filmed. And when we actually filmed it, they put me in the huge and four actors that they turned into holograms because they turned us into holograms,
Sure.
And we had to film this in a huge green screen cylinder that they created for us. And when they put us in there, I had to stand on top of a platform and deliver my lines to an X that was on the far side of the wall. So not only did I have to stand up on this platform and look at this X and try to find emotion in the X like I was talking to a real person, it was like to balance myself and speak. Little girl, please. And I had to balance myself and speak to this X like it was emotional stuff happening. So it was like for me that was like a major acting challenge, but I loved it because it showed me like how far I've come and like how much my skills have really evolved because my eyes were tearing up and everything. And it's so funny if you watch me filming because it's like, who is he talking to? He's talking to an ex. Like, what is he thinking about? So it was like it was so awesome and like just it was incredible because like I said, I learned a lot again. And they turned me to a hologram, which was another thing I wanted to be, I wanted to experience in the filming. And I learned how they do that, and it was a godsend, man. It was so awesome. Yeah,
That's amazing.
And I
wild.
meet Regina King, and like that it blew my mind. Like I was like, I'm a super fan of hers, and meeting her, I was just like, hi, and she's like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I was like, it's so cool, you know. Like
That's awesome, man.
I was fanboying, man. Yeah, so
Speechless.
yeah, it was incredible. It was so awesome. Yeah.
I can't even imagine. If I was on set, I would literally pee my pants.
Yeah.
So listen, I just want to thank you big time for
you.
taking out all this time to hang out with us. We greatly appreciate it, and it's been great to get to know you tonight and talk to you and chat. We hope great success on you, man. I want to see you on a Marvel film very soon.
Thank you so much, man. It's been so good meeting you guys and being able to be on you guys' show, and I hope to come back again.
Hey,
Me
man.
and
We got to have her back. She has to come back on her own episode, though.
Man, she's gonna be an actress one day. She has such a personality, and she's only 2, man. Like she blows my mind. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's so awesome. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you take care. Both of you take care, okay?
Thank you so much. Y'all do too, and thank y'all again.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Hey, by the way, we will be reaching out and getting our Funko Pop signed. So I'm letting you know that now. I'll reach out to you.
I'll be waiting. Awesome.
All right, man. Take care. All right.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Later.
Later.
All right. Well, that was awesome. That was really, really fun. I'm glad that all worked out. We did have some technical issues with Skype there for a second, but it all worked out in the end. So in situations like this, it gets very we got to turn ourselves down, by the way, because I know we're blowing the speakers out. In situations like this, it gets very nerve-wracking because we have a ton of questions here, and I'm trying to make sure that we hit all the right ones. And this was so much fun. He made it so easy for us. He was really easy to talk to. Such a nice, sweet person. I really hope that we see him in a Marvel film or a DC film in the future. He was really something.
He deserves it.
You know, a lot of the times you have fears that you'll do something like this and somebody will come on and, you know, they won't, I don't know, maybe having a hard time chatting with us, or maybe even like the difference in, what do you call that? Where it's like a 5-second in between us talking to each other, like that pause or whatever, because of connection, the lag or whatever. So it always scares me about how this is going to turn out, but boy, it turned out like way better than I ever expected. And such a cute niece too. She was a sweetheart.
Precious.
Yeah, she was a
I didn't
sweetheart.
mind the interruption at all.
No, not at all. Guys, thank you
So
for
cute.
tuning in and hanging out with us. I expected a little bit bigger of a crowd, but we had right around 20 people watching the whole time, so that was cool. I'm glad that you guys tuned in and enjoyed it. The more that we, the more that we do what we do, I want to start getting bigger names here to come and hang out and watch with us. And to experience it with us, right? And ask questions.
Pretty big name.
I'm very surprised. I reached out to him on Facebook when I saw that he was posting in one of the groups, and I reached out and said, "Hey, how would you feel about doing this?" And he was like, "That's awesome, sure." I was like, "Oh my God!" It took about a day for him to come back to me, but I was like, "Wow, that's insane." He probably thought I was another person looking for an autograph or something.
Maybe.
Yeah. So wow, so not necessarily surprised. I knew that he would be a nice guy, but what a great interview and a fun interview for us. So that was cool. Yes, that's right, Lady Enigma. Everybody else missed out. Hopefully they'll come back and
hopefully they come back and watch, because that was really cool. I love the insider information he gave us.
Absolutely.
And a lot of this, like, we had a lot of things written down, but he answered them like before we could even ask, which was super cool. Like, he was prepared to tell us some awesome stuff. So I loved that.
Absolutely.
If you missed it, you can get in contact with him on Facebook if you have something you'd like for him to sign, Moses J. Moseley, or you can contact him through email, booking mosesmoseley@gmail.com. BOOKINGMOSESMOSELEY@gmail.com.
We actually had somebody, I think Aaron might have shared.
He did, yeah.
Shared something in the comments. So thank you for doing that, Aaron. And while we've been here, Aaron dropped a piece of news that I kind of want to touch upon since we're here. Aaron says, nothing to do with the live. Connor from Abominable Toys announced a Hot Topic exclusive 1000 LE Chomp coming in September. That's incredible. Quite frankly, that shows that the company has come quite a long way. The fact that they're selling exclusives at stores like Hot Topic, I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even know what to think about that, but I think that's great. I have not seen a photo of it just yet. Is there a photo, Heather?
Yeah.
There is a photo.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. Did you mention it's 1K?
Okay, yeah, it's a 1K. Okay, so what's different about him? It's
He's
just
metallic.
a metallic face. Interesting. Okay, so that's cool. So there he is, a metallic face chomp. Wow, these guys are humongous. I mean, what is happening? I think that's great. Congratulations to them. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's freaking awesome.
Wow, that's remarkable. I'm really excited for them. We found out about them, I think, a year ago from now, maybe a year and a few months. And we bought the cotton candy chomp, and we were like, oh, this is really cute. I got it for Heather, and look at him now. I mean, just incredible. I can't get over it. There's actually a new chomp dropping this week on Friday on Plastic Empire at 1 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys go and check that out as well and buy up that chomp. I know I'll be there trying to get mine. So I'm not making it easy on myself. I'm sharing this with all my friends because that's what we do. Okay, Heather, do we have any? Oh, I do have a couple things. We do have more Ghastly pins, the glow-in-the-dark pins. We have Gastlecast pins too, but you already know that. If you want them, just reach out to us. The Ghastly pin glow-in-the-dark, I only have a handful of them left. So if you want one, reach out. Email us at gastlecast@gmail.com. We have pin boards as well. The pin boards are still available. I'm actually waiting for them to be brought to my house so I can wrap them and ship them. So if you want a pin board, I mean, it's really a nice piece. I have a bunch of my pins on it already. So again, email us, gastlecast@gmail.com. And I think that's all I have for this evening. We had a new video drop tonight at 7 p.m. It's talking about how Fandom released over the weekend, talking about all of the new DCEU stuff. And we wonder, will that spike all of the DCEU Funko Pops and collectibles? I think it's a great video. I think it's a video that kind of speaks to something that could happen very soon in the future. Because DCEU, I don't know if you watch Fandom or if you followed any of the stories, but DCEU is going to blow up, I think. I think it's with James Gunn helming one of the films, Suicide Squad. I think that there's potential for DCEU to be just as big as Marvel very soon. Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I hope that happens. Even though I'm a big MCU guy, I want to see DC do well too. And I think it's cool that they're releasing so many really big things.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I'm excited. I'm really hoping to see some awesome stuff from DC because I'm not very well versed in DC, and I would love to be. I just have never gotten around to watching that. Like, I don't even know where to start. There's so much DC to watch.
There is.
So it would be cool to maybe get a little bit of background and then see these awesome films and shows and stuff that are coming out.
Absolutely. Yeah, KNL Collectible says the Batman looks promising. Absolutely. The Batman looks fantastic. I'm really, really excited about that movie. He kicks the crap out of one of the dudes. Robert Pattinson. Holy crap. Robert Pattinson as Batman. Never thought that would happen, and it is happening, or it did happen, and I can't wait to see what the final result is. I think he's really going to blow our minds with that movie. Honest to God.
Think so.
I think he's going to be really good, and I think a lot of people are going to be putting their foot in their mouth over that.
Absolutely. People see him as Twilight, and that's it. And
what was his name in Twilight?
Oh, gosh.
It was...
It's like on the tip of my tongue.
I can't remember.
I know it. I feel so stupid.
I can't remember. It was some... There's a Robert Pattinson song? I have no idea. Suicide Squad looks amazing. Love Margot Robbie. Yes. Who doesn't love Margot Robbie? Although I have to admit that I did not like the Suicide Squad film that came out a couple years ago.
Edward,
that's right, Edward.
Jeez.
And nor did I like the most recent Harley Quinn film. Wasn't a huge fan of that. Everybody's saying Edward now. But I am excited to see what Suicide Squad will turn out to be. I'm looking forward to that. What person would you love to have on an interview series?
Number one, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Don't think that'll ever happen, but that would be super cool. And I want to let him know that I love him.
I personally would love Mike Becker.
That would be sweet.
Because I think Mike Becker, of course, he's the chairman of Fun for Funko. He is really something else. I watch a lot of his little live vignettes on Instagram, and his videos. And he is a wild guy.
He
And
is.
I think he would just be a lot of fun to talk to, talk about his collections, because he collects a bunch of old like toys and Halloween related stuff. He just seems like a lot of fun. So that would be one of mine personally. I'm with Heather with Jeffrey D. Morgan. That's a big one. And I'm trying to think, who else would there be? Sully from Funko. I think that would be kind of cool as well. Sully seems like a really nice guy. I think that would be fun to have him on. Are we sad that JDM didn't attend our wedding? You know what?
Yes.
It's funny that you say that. We were just talking about that, Heather and I, the other day, about how we sent the letter to him. My father actually said, hey, because, you and Heather, or you proposed in front of Jeffrey D. Morgan to Heather, maybe write him a letter and see if he would want to come to the wedding. And I was like, that is really bizarre. I don't know if that's going to work. That sounds kind of weird. And my dad's like, why not? Give it a shot. He goes, some of these actors will do stuff like that. They'll do really off-the-wall things. And I thought, well, who plays Daryl? What's his name? I can't remember. Norman Reedus. He has a TV show called Ride, which is a motorcycle show. And I figured, well, they're always doing this motorcycle show and driving everywhere. So would it be possible that they're on the East Coast and they're doing some sort of shoot there and he might be there? And I just thought of all these crazy things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a letter. And my letter basically was like, it sounded exactly the way that I talk. I did it on purpose to sound like a real human being instead of a robot. And I was like, I proposed to my now wife my fiance in front of you, and it was such a memorable moment for us, and we would be honored if you came to our wedding. And we ended up mailing it. I don't remember where we mailed it. It was like to his handler or something. Somebody gave us data, and we ended up mailing it there. Who knows if he ever got it? I would assume that he didn't, right? Would you assume that?
I think so. I mean, he's a very busy guy, so if he did, he's probably like, oh, whatever.
Right.
But, maybe he didn't. There's a lot of people who I've heard get written back from people. Sometimes you don't. So I hope that he didn't, just for the sake of like the fact that we didn't hear anything back.
Right.
But it wouldn't hurt my feelings otherwise, because I know he's such a busy guy,
Well, now he has like a reality show.
Does he?
Walking Dead. Yeah, he was doing a reality show on AMC. I never really watched it.
Oh, yeah, on his farm, right?
Yeah, on his farm. So there's that, and there's a lot of stuff. Hey, I like your videos, and I hope to see a new ad icon for NYCC. Thank you, Fred's
thanks,
Awesome
Fred.
Pop Collection. I think we talked about in our video what we think will come out for the ad icons. We're thinking it could possibly be the McNugget Buddies from McDonald's, because McDonald's is so popular right now. Are you trying to show me something on your phone? I'm just asking.
No.
Okay, you slid it near me, and I didn't know if you need me to read something. Randy Falk from NECA. Ryan, I've heard too many bad things about what's going on with NECA. I don't even think it's a good idea. I'm pretty sure if we had that guy on, he might get pounced, and not by us, but I think by the people watching, and I would really hate for that to happen. A lot of people are very upset with him right now due to the way that the Turtles are releasing. The cartoon Turtles and the movie Turtles. I've heard some things through the grapevine.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that a lot of it has nothing to do with him.
Yeah, I don't know. He apparently the responses from NECA on Instagram and other forms of social
But
media.
does he actually run the Instagram?
All I'm saying is the way that he comes across and his folks at NECA come across, things get kind of ugly.
Ryan said it's gotten better. They've redeemed themselves.
Well, that's good. I'm good to know because I don't really follow NECA that much, although we do like NECA. We have some NECA stuff, but I don't know really what's going on with NECA and the what's his name, Falk, whatever his name is. I feel like I'm cursing, but I'm not. I promise.
Randy Falk.
Randy Falk. They did pre-orders for everything people made. I saw that. I saw the pre-order thing, so that's good. At least they're helping people out. You're welcome. It would be awesome. I love to collect ad icons. I'm trying to get them. Oh yeah, we actually have. Excuse me. We actually have the 5-pack McDonald's coming to us very soon. A friend on the West Coast helped us out, and he's shipping it to us. I think it'll actually be here Friday. I might make a video about it. I don't know. I like making videos about things like controversy and stuff that's on my mind and how I feel about something. And it's just more fun to talk about news. Like I like to talk about what's going on in the world with Funko and other collectibles. We ever since we started posting them, people seem to really enjoy our content. And, we could do unboxings all day, but Jetta said it himself the other day. How many times are people going to post about, here's a box that I just got and I'm going to unbox it in front of a camera? Although they are popular and they are fun, they're just not as fun for me. I much rather open a box that we received from like a friend, because we had Thomas Studholm actually send us a box the other day. Thank you, Lady Enigma. I am exploding for my burps. Thank you. I'm glad you noticed that. She's noticing my burping. Thomas Gray Studholm sent something to us the other day. Thomas is such a great guy, such a lovely human being. He sent us a box full of goodies, mainly for my son, believe it or not. And what a thoughtful individual. I mean, just such a beautiful person. I'll tell you what, this is something that I've been wanting to do, because I think this might be a good interview series. You asked me who I would like to have on, and there is one person I would like to have on, and it's for many reasons, and it's your boy Snowden.
Yes.
And the reason why I want to have him on is because he helped Heather big time with her new upcoming The Office Orientation Podcast. And The Office Orientation Podcast, if you're not aware of what that is, Heather is watching for the very first time The Office. And she is going to discuss each and every episode in the series as a person that's first time watching it. She's keeping copious notes. I mean, Heather is really going all out for this thing, and I'm really proud of what she's doing, because I'm just gonna say this. I have for this channel, I do a lot of editing. Heather comes down, we do stuff together and all, but mainly it's my show. I'm the one that puts it all together. I'm the one that kind of comes up with most of the ideas. I sometimes even give her lines to say while we're doing the videos. This is Heather doing her own thing with her own plan, and I couldn't be more proud watching her do it, because you could just tell she's really excited. Now, one thing I will tell you is that Heather is a little nervous.
Very nervous.
Because there's a lot to go into this. This is something that's completely off the wall and different for her. Like when we run the podcast for Heroic Nonsense, we get in front of a camera, Jason comes up with talking points, and we just discuss it and have a good time. Heather is making an actual full show, meaning that you can go back and listen to all the episodes and just get her thoughts on The Office and what her thought as a first-time watcher. Her thought, you could listen to all of them at some point in time when they're all completed and listen to her thoughts on every single episode of The Office. Not only do you get that, you also get something from me, sometimes, depending on the episodes that I'm on. I might be on all of them. We're not sure yet. And then some friends that we bring in, like our good pal Morgan Mitchell, and also Jason Swoboda, and a bunch of other people that we'll be having on very soon, which I'm really excited about. We need to talk to some people and have them on. King Elmo said he just finished watching The Office, and he said he loved it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. So spoiler alert, I do enjoy it in my podcast. So, but yeah, I really happen to like it. I hope to record the second episode maybe tomorrow or something. I just have to get Chris to watch the
2 episodes. I'll watch them tonight, but when we lay down.
Episode 3 and 4. But yeah, I'm really excited. It is hard. It is much harder than doing like Gastlecast or Heroic Nonsense, because with Gastlecast, you'll notice that Chris talks a lot and I don't. But with Gastlecast, it seems very natural, and I can give you my thoughts on things, and unless we're doing like a news sort of video, it's not scripted at all. And even with the news videos, it's not scripted. It's more so like we'll have this information and we just have to relay it to you guys in a way that we see fit. But with a podcast, on this topic, I have all this information in front of me. I try not to leave any big parts out, which is really hard to do. And I'm going along sort of in chronological order of what happens in the episode, my thoughts about each thing, predictions. I'm having fun along the way, trying to discuss it. So it's very unnatural for me right now. It's very odd, but I'm hoping by a couple episodes in, I get the hang of it. But I think it's going to be a bit rocky to start.
It'll be okay. It'll be fine. It's so far so good. Kagan McKinney said something about the podcast with Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey. Yeah, so that's actually a good podcast from what I understand. Although Heather's is going to be more or less talking about each episode moving forward. I think they really talk about the episodes, obviously, but they talk more about their, I guess, what their takeaways, their experience and takeaways from being on set.
If
and
I'm
being,
not mistaken.
Yeah, because they were big players on the show. They were two main characters. Many of the characters, I guess, were main characters on that show, right?
Okay, so they're rewatching it, and then each week they break down the episode and give you exclusive behind-the-scenes stories. That's awesome.
Yeah,
so that's cool. Angela and who? Who is that?
That's Jenna Fisher.
Who is she?
Pam?
Oh, that's a... Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like Pam. Okay. Now that
she looks much different than in the first season.
Yeah, okay.
In the first season, they make a lot of the characters in the first season look very human, like very normal.
Okay.
They don't seem dialed up or anything. They just seem like people you would really find in an office building. In the later seasons, they start just looking more well put together, I guess.
Gotcha. Like they have a hair and makeup team.
Yeah.
Snowden, please don't wish that upon me.
I started collecting the Office Funko Pops, and I decided to get away from it because it just became this big black hole. And I already have a big black hole called the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. So it's hard for me to dump my money in both places on top of buying hot toys when I want them. It's just too much. So I decided the Office is going to have to stay over here, and me and Marvel will stay over here. And it worked out that way. As far as when Heather watches all the episodes, now she may change her mind. Who knows? I don't know. Patty says, I love the free-flowing vibe of your video. Thank you very much, Patty. That means a lot. We try to make it... Some videos, it sounds like we're directing and talking and nah. I like to make them feel a little bit, a little bit more free, like you've mentioned. I don't feel like they all come across that way, but I hope, I'm glad to hear that you think so, because that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. Is that the podcast? I'll be home a different YouTube channel.
I think he's asking if it will be on a different YouTube channel. So it's not going to be on YouTube. It's audio only. So you'll be able to find it wherever you can find podcasts, Anchor, Google Play, iTunes, Spotify.
I'll tell you what, I'll make it easier on you.
Okay.
What we're going to do is once we post the first episode, it'll be on the Gastlecast Instagram. Okay. There is also an office orientation Instagram. So head over to Instagram now and follow at Office Orientation. Is that correct?
At the Office Orientation.
At the Office Orientation. So go and follow that, because that's how you're going to find out all the new episodes and all that kind of jazz. K&L says, I agree, Gastlecast is the best buy. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
That's really sweet of you to say that. Like I always say, we are just two people who collect like you, but we just decide to look like big a-holes in front of a camera. We decide to put our goofy faces on for the camera.
Wow, speak for yourself. Mine's pretty good.
You have a good face.
Thank you. Maybe
not me. Look how much light is in your face. I messed with the camera prior, but I guess that didn't work out. Hi, Natalie. Well, Natalie, I'm sorry to tell you, but you came in a little late because we're about to roll. We've been on for an hour and 12 minutes. This is a great interview series. Again, a big thank you to Moses J. Moseley for taking his time out to come on here and hang out with us. And thank you guys for being here and supporting us and being here to listen to that whole interview. If you didn't catch all of it, rewind, go back and watch from the start, because it was really fun. He was a really good guy, and he had a lot of insight on the Walking Dead universe, and his career is very interesting as well.
Yes, and I also just wanted to say thank you to everybody who has either followed my new Instagram or congratulated me on my new podcast, because it's been really sweet. I didn't think that, everybody would be as excited as I am, but I'm glad you guys are.
Kate L said, we're the best a-holes. Thank you. You're so sweet. We love you too, K&L. I know that's Chris back there. I know you're driving. I know you're driving right now. Meaning you're driving the YouTube. I can't wait to see who is next on the interview series. We'll have a new interview series announcement very, very soon. I don't have an exact lineup yet. In fact, I don't really have a lineup of a bunch of names yet. In fact, I'm kind of just shooting from the hip at this point and getting who we can get and all that kind of jazz. Are you trying to get the Galactic Pop 4 or 5. I lost the count. Yeah, so Galacticon VirtualCon 4, I believe that it is. Or I don't even know if it's Galacticon, what number Galacticon it is, unfortunately, but it's VirtualCon 4, somebody told me today. I thought it was VirtualCon 5. And I thought New York Comic Con was VirtualCon 4 because if you look at the logo for for Galacticon or whatever they're calling it, it says Galactic Edition. So I didn't see a number there. So I didn't know if they weren't giving it a number on purpose and just calling it Galactic Edition. I didn't really know what they were doing there, but apparently it is Galactic or VirtualCon 4. I just completely confused you and me at the same time. How do you like that?
Yeah, I don't know what you're saying.
They need to make a Wendy's ad icon and Burger King, Little Caesars, and the Taco Bell dog. I agree with all of them. They are all very good ones, and hopefully they make those very soon. The King from Burger King is one that I probably would have to have because that one was such a weird one. Such a weird commercial. Do you remember those commercials?
Yes, weird.
They're so creepy. All right, guys, that's it. I've talked enough, and we appreciate all of you guys. Thank you very much. We'll be back on Sunday live, and remember, we post a video every single day. So if you're sick of us, prepare to be more sicker. All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll catch you next time. Oh, remember, as always, we are together, yes. We'll catch you next time.